Hey, everybody, I'm Mike McMahon, and you are watching Trekyards.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
And I'm Commander Cognizant Stuart. We have a new kit bash. We have a new kit bash. Okay, it's not got the same ring to it, but do you see what I'm getting at here?
I guess, yeah. I'm just excited to see a new ship. So
Damn
next
it, that's what I
week
normally
on...
say. A new ship.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I was so close.
Yeah. Damn, man. Yeah, we saw the preview for next week on Lower Decks, and we got a new ship, and this is the USS Vancouver, NCC 70492 or 82, one or the other. It's worth talking about, I think, because we are the ship guys. We love new ships, and it's great to see something kind of new.
Well, let's be honest. The next time one happened, and how quick were you to rewind and freeze frame?
It was pretty quick. I don't mind admitting I have a problem.
Slash, this is our job. You know, this is our job. Yeah, brand new ship. And the Ceritos is a weird one, but it's intentionally a weird one. And we've done episodes on it. We've got new renders. You know, it's got these things that are not unprecedented, but all put together in a package is to the sort of far left, the corners of the aesthetic with certain things, but intentionally because it's a low-end ship, low-end crew, bit ragtag, meant to imply all that stuff. Now this is we've seen things from distances, but this is our first. Clearly not the same, and obviously TNG-esque, and it's a kit bashy thing, but is not the same.
It should be pointed out too that this is just the first look on this one image. After next episode, we're going to go more deep dive into this ship and talk about it a little bit more. So I just wanted to put that out there, so you guys know that we'll be revisiting it at some point.
Yes, classic first look. So what do you think of our first Lower Decks era, post Nemesis, non Ceritos California class ship?
I love it. It is a very, very cool design, in my opinion. One of the things I do like about it, it doesn't look like one of the lower end workhorse ships because it doesn't have a special stripe on it. It doesn't have the blue stripe or the yellow stripe that we've seen on the California classes already. So it's one of the more upscaled, probably in line with the Galaxy class and or the Nebula.
Because the scale of windows looks the same. I think it's just same size, more medium end vessel. I would definitely not say it was an upscale because they're not small ships. It's just actually ship of the Galaxy rather than minuscule roll ship.
Well, that being said, it's got a cool look to it. Definitely some unique design features. The impulse engines, the way that they stick out from the back, I really, really like that. It makes you wonder if they're like beefed up impulse engines because there's no other purpose for those. There's no windows back there. It's just looks like engine units.
Well, and hey, thanks to them for actually having a really visible red glow. Otherwise, you'd be like, those are weird, but it's like, nope, we know what they are. And they clearly have power, because those are many decks, like thick. If you to make decks that way around, they are big. A massive amounts of Miranda vibe. Fair to say.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So modern Miranda, with a Ceritos, so 50% Ceritos, give or take. It's mostly just the saucer, and half the nacelles. And we'll get there in a minute. But it's obviously What do you think about having a design where it respects the internal TNG logic of kit bashing because that creates an aesthetic for an era. It took the Ceritos saucer and then did stuff to it. Would you like to see a more different vessel, or is this the sort of, like I say, it follows that aesthetic lineage of kit bashiness?
I like the way it followed that ideal. I mean, we saw the fleet of Wolf 359, very kit bashy, but it was just for background pieces, so they used different model parts, which set the aesthetic a little bit. This one, I do like the fact that it has elements that even the warp nacelles are different than the Ceritos, so it's got like elements of the show that we're watching yet tying into other things as well, and those aren't just standard TNG nacelles either. Those fall very similar to Enterprise E-type nacelles for the front, with the split down the front of the Bizarre collector and things. There's elements from a lot of different stuff being represented there.
Well, and not just that, but to me, it's clear that the nacelles are the Ceritos nacelles, but with the front actually attached. What we see in the Ceritos, yeah, exactly. The full shell casing where we see the internals of the Ceritos, because it still has that side slit. But this version is actually the full. This is what it should look like. The Ceritos is just more banged up. / they just decided, oh, we don't need the full casing. So it's like it is the same, but one step forward of no, this is what it should look like. The Ceritos just doesn't. Oops, which I like. I like that. It creates a more unified vibe, and yet you can tell it's the same thing.
Yeah, I can see why you'd say that, just because of all the blue glows on all surfaces of the back of the nacelle.
And that red strip still at the side.
Yeah. Huh, that's interesting.
And obviously registry is fixed, quote unquote. We know there's a reason for it on the Ceritos, so fixed is the wrong word. But how nice is that to see?
Amazing. It's all white, which is kind of unique. It doesn't have the black with the white or red outline. So I don't know if that's just don't know if that's just an animation conceit, or if that's something that shows some kind of specific.
We are a bit far away, to be fair. That might just be for this long shot, because we've zoomed in for this, but in fact it's quite far away. Yeah. So I think we can pinch of salt that. We'll see. But yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. It looks like we might have a visible bridge window again.
See, no, I was going to say, thank God we haven't got a visible bridge window, because that window is so much wider than the Ceritos is. That can't possibly be a bridge.
That's true.
I mean,
that's actually a good point.
It's, what, 4 escape pods wide, and each one can hold at least 4 people? No, that I think that confirms to us that it's not a bridge window either. It's Discovery team insisted it has some sort of visible light there, and they did include it, but we don't see through it. And for later ships, it's now just bigger because I cannot, unless the ship is like with the on the original Enterprise D bridge drawings, there's massive thing with a massive conference room table, unless it's just like an absurdly big bridge because it's like a conference bridge. But no, I think this puts that to bed, that it's not intentionally they had to by memo, but they've kind of cleverly worked around that. Because why would the Discovery people care? Oh, it's clearly a bridge window, and they're not going to think, oh, it's like 6 rooms wide. They don't care, do they? They're not going to think about it. So I was kind of excited by that.
I do like there are elements that definitely say Ceritos here as well, like the little elements on the saucer that stick up, like the fins almost. Those are on the Ceritos, and then the darker patch, the swath back to the nacelles. I don't know if that's just a lighting thing, or if it's actually supposed to be darker, like it kind of falls in with the Star Trek Online aesthetic with the darker accents.
Or Section 31 Discovery era.
Oh dear God, please don't.
No, I hadn't even thought about that. Yes, it is very dark, because you can see space, you can see hull color. Now that said, the back of the nacelles are equally as dark. I'm guessing it's just the lighting, but yeah, it's really dark. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, hopefully it'll be less in the final. Although speaking of it, it's the Ceritos saucer again. Because they've just nicked the Ceritos saucer. The phaser strip's even less functional, because the phaser strip is literally half a foot away from the hull, as in the block hull of sort of the shoulder bits. So if they can't fire that way, they'll vaporize the hull. So even less good firing arc. Small thing, they should have made a little bit. Like there's always breather room on phaser strips on purpose. Small thing. Next time, guys. Next time. And I don't know if you noticed, but they're also missing the custom blinkies on each side of the saucer cutouts, which obviously don't make a lot of sense for the Ceritos because they're red and green on every single bit, which completely ruins the point of them. So maybe in a close-up we'll see just a single red and green to kind of imply here, this is a proper ship. We have proper blinkies.
Well, there is a red glow coming from.
There is.
Which we don't know what that is. If that's a blinky, if that's something from. I'm pretty sure this one has a secondary hull, if I remember correctly, from the previews we've seen. Hope
so. Yeah.
It could just be an animation error. It could be something else. I don't know. But I wanted to point that out, that it does look like there's something maybe there.
Yeah.
So,
but you would definitely have seen the top ones if they had the same as Ceritos. So it's lacking something, but yeah, still has a hint of it. God, I really hope about the secondary hull. I'm so excited to see what they do with the secondary hull. What a deflector looks like, what a shuttle bay, where that would be.
that being said, this design like this without a secondary hull would be kind of cool as well.
It would, but I would agree completely if the shuttle bay was where we said it should be, between the two back shoulder bits. If that had been clearly a big shuttle bay, yes. Without that, I you know, it'll have some weird shuttle bay like in the pylons, and I'm just like, you know. That said, pylons. I mean, for those that don't like the Ceritos pylons, I mean, real pylons. So, which then again shows the intention of Ceritos pylons was to be a bit weird. This is a far more conventional because yeah, other ships do.
We got windows and rooms in those pylons, which is something that you don't really see in pylons generally. So that's kind of cool. I actually like that look here. I'm
mixed, but the pylons do look real thick, and not like Ceritos bulky thick, like appropriate thick. If that makes sense, they feel nicely bulky for this task. Yeah, I'm sure they're not important rooms, but what they wouldn't put crew quarters there. That'd be weird. You wouldn't put science rooms. That'd be weird. Maybe the observation rooms and like meeting rooms and
yeah, observation room, something like that. An obscured view of space. You don't have to see over the hull or see any other part of the ship. It's just
well, we know the Ceritos' function is very specific, and the California class in general. So is this? I mean, we've no idea what the next episode is going to be, and I don't. From the next time on, no, well, we know that the dude's girlfriend's on it, but that does not tell us anything about the ship, its service. So I'm always hoping it's just another like, of a ship of the week, as in it's just a normal ship. It's like an Excel. It's like, yep, this is an average ship. So therefore, no special function, because then the show shows us that they can make a normal ship. But that said, it might have some special purpose. But it doesn't seem to have any, apart from the impulse engines, that might be like, it's very maneuverable. It doesn't appear to have any specialty to it. More just a ship of the appropriate normal Federation ship version of Ceritos. Kind of what it says to me.
Now, interestingly enough, as I pointed out at the beginning of this, it is called the USS Vancouver, which is where this show is actually being made.
Is this one being made there too?
Yes,
Ooh,
yes.
Didn't know that.
So one of our moderators, Jeff Jacobs, last night on my live said perhaps this is a Canadian or a Canada class.
You better say Canadian class.
A Canadian class, I was going to say, but a Canada class or something. Maybe they all have different province names or whatever, which, or city names in Canada. That'd be kind of neat, but it follows the naming tradition so far we've seen in Lower Decks with like California class and then places or cities around California. So,
I mean, that said, it might be like, capitals. And it'd be nice to see, the USS Giovanni as in like a Vulcan capital. Have it be a bit more. Not everything
capital class. I like that.
Yeah, ship. It'd be nice to have alien names from other races. I mean, that said, you don't want really obscure, hard to say names, so you have to pick. Like Surak is an easy to say Vulcan name, and there was this, whatever. But yeah, hey, if it's Canadian, it just means the captain will be very polite, and the crew just has a really upheld sense of sort of dignity and niceness, and maple syrup dispensers on every floor. It's important. Kind of like Yeah.
So stereotypical. Anyway, that's I think it for this first look at the ship. Like I said, after we see the episode, we'll have a more detailed breakdown with different views, different angles, comparisons, probably size charts, everything that you can expect from Trekyards. But we wanted to take a look at this and talk about it because it was great to see a new ship.
It always
is, and we get so excited. Absolutely. So let us know in the comments what you guys think about the design, and what you think the class name might be based on the name of the ship, and. Are you looking forward to seeing it? Is it a design you like? Does it remind you of Star Trek Online? Let us know in the comments section. Very important questions need to be answered for us. Anyway, in the meantime, though, you can like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click the notification bell icon to all. And, share it around if you want to people that might enjoy it. and always join us for our lives.
And if you do join the lives, then do super chat if you can. It's a comment, a question, a thought, or just a thank you, and we read those out, and they really do support the channel. Or Patreon monthly service, again, donations based, or join us on YouTube. Same thing as Patreon, just through YouTube again. Really helps, because we literally couldn't do this show without you. YouTube it's not a great mistress, but we're here for you guys. We do it either way, because people enjoy what we do. So if you wanna, and if you can support, then that does allow us to go, and you'll make us go. We are smart. All helps.
So until next time, guys, I'm the super smart and awesome Captain Foley.
I'm Commander Cones. Just plain old Commander Cones.
Bye.